This is truly a beginner alterations video. I want you to be able to do something simple that is for a beginner, not a professional tailoring job. So when you're looking for something that you need for like one occasion, a dress to wear to somebody's wedding, a cruise formal night dress like mine was, maybe you have to go to some kind of weird formal dinner, that's the kind of dress we're altering here. One you got at the Goodwill for $12. Perfect. That's a little too big. Probably doesn't need to be lined. Needs to have simple lines. Needs to basically already fit in the neck. You need to be able to literally just adjust the seams. You're just making your seam allowance bigger. I'm Emily, and I help you make things extraordinary. First thing I had to do was fix the length, and I had someone help me mark that, and then I cut it off. Make sure though you have on your shoes that you're gonna wear, otherwise it'll end up to be too short. I have it on inside out. One of the reasons I'm going to be able to easily fix this dress is because it's not lined. When you're going from dress size to dress size, typically you're adding about an inch. So when you're looking at seam allowance, you're looking at a 1/2 inch because it's 1/2 inch on each side equals an inch. So don't forget that little tidbit there. I could take off an inch here, and I may do that. And then that will make this sleeve hit right there instead of being a little bit long. I don't want to pull. I want to keep my center here, especially because I have these lines. I don't want to get it off. So I just want to make some little pins here just to show kind of where I would want it. It's really big right here in the hips. But don't forget, you have to sit down. So I'm just kind of making some simple little marks, nothing that I'm trying to be perfect about. So I'm just gonna mark them maybe just a little bit here. So I'll need to adjust that down. Definitely want to do some up under the arm, but I still want it to fit and not be too tight. I have my dress laid out so that I will be stitching with this side being on the right side. So when I make my marks, I will be able to see them. I want to start on that line. I don't think that I want to mess with the waistband. It fit pretty well in the waist already. So I'm going to just follow along this stitch line right here and work my way over to about an inch from my stitch line. This is my serge line. I said a 1/2 inch would be a size. So this would be around a size 12. This would be around a size 10. So I'm thinking I'm going to make a little mark right here, and I'm going to work my way to that mark. I've got my measurement here at that. I'm thinking that that looks pretty good. I'm going to come back and put some pins in just to keep it from bunching up on me, that it stays flat under my sewing machine presser foot. So I folded my dress in half, kind of matched up my two sides, and I just kind of want to make sure that I'm pretty even here. So I'm just bending this back a little bit, making a few marks, bending it back right as I did that pinning and marking it so that it will be even on both sides. And obviously it doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but you want it to be pretty close. Okay, at this mark right here, I know that now I'm doing 1 inch all the way down. And I'm just gonna continue all the way down and put my pins in just like I did on the other one. Because I'm not changing the waist, I want to start right at my original seam line so that I can reinforce that stitch just to make sure that nothing comes unraveled after I have cut off all this excess on the side. So I Googled what needle to use for taffeta, and it told me. So if you don't know what needle to use, just Google it. So I've got it all lined up, and then I'm gonna just stitch this chalk line that I created. My sides are done, and it looks okay. It's still just a little bit big. So I've decided what I'm gonna do is take in these front seams, but I'm only going to take them in starting here and do the same thing in the back, and just start there and go down to where I'm doing about an inch probably off of each of those seams as well. To be able to adjust this, I needed to unstitch at the underarm. I have my underarm unstitched now, and yes, I needed my magnifying glass here. You want to make sure that you unstitch as much as your seam allowance is going to be. So my seam starts here, and I'm gonna come in like 1 1/4 inches probably. So I want to make sure that I have plenty there. And I've also gotten rid of all the extra strings, because if those get caught under your needle and up in your bobbin case, it can cause your fabric to get all stuck up under your machine. So make sure you kind of clean that up a little bit. I have my sleeve inside out. This is where I pinned it, and I've just kind of measured that right there. And I'm gonna mark inside my sleeve. So I shoved my sleeve inside, wrong side out. And I'm gonna mark just like I did on the side seams. My sleeve has now been made smaller, and I went ahead and serged that. Now it's time to do my side seam here from the sleeve hem down, and I didn't want to change any in the waist, so I'm just going to come right down to that seam line. I'm finished. I have taken up all my seams. I finished them, and I did the front ones, the back ones, all the way down the side, up the arm. The one thing I did not have to do really was the waist. I could have done a little bit, but I just didn't mess with that. But it would have been easy just to have just kept stitching down the side. Would have been all that it needed. I originally was not going to even keep the waistband, but it was meant to have one. It was not stitched very nicely at the waist, or very straight, because they had intended for the belt to be over it. So that was fine. I left this side alone completely. And then this side, I just cut it off, tucked those underneath, stitched it, and then put the eyes back on. I did some stitching on the sides real quick. Then I stitched my bow on, and it did make a difference. It did look good once it was pressed and actually fit, and I was glad that I had the bow on the front. Thanks for watching, and you might also like these videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe.